Yeah. We're not dead yet, motherfuckers. Welcome back to the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at Live on That Swing. Joining me today, I've got my co-host and a special guest. Why don't you two introduce yourselves?
What's going on, party people? It is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at jsandiego. That is with two O's, and we are joined by an OG, I've been told, to this podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Hello. I think the claims of my OG-ness are over exaggerated.
You are the first ever co-host I had. You are the OG.
Well, regardless, hello everyone. My name is Gule. I also go by Keithan. I have like many different things, many different hats I wear. I stream. A journalism student over at Cronkite, and a tortured Arizona sports fan. I think first and foremost. So, socials at Zona Ghoul on like most of everything. So if you ever want to check me out. But what we're doing right here is we're as we said before, bitching and moaning about our lovely teams, aren't we?
I've been in funeral mode for weeks, so this is pure cope on my end at this point. My worst fears have come and then some. I feel horrendous right now. It is hard not to feel horrendous as an Arizona sports fan right now. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We are going to roast the shit out of these teams because God help us, they've given us nothing better to do.
Yeah, I've been going through the stages of grief, and what's the final stage is acceptance. I knew our season was over when we lost to Seattle, so I wasn't banking on making the playoffs. After that,
I didn't watch the Cardinals game this weekend. I went to go see Nosferatu because if I wanted to go see something that sucked, I wanted to not break my heart too.
Did you watch the game?
I did not.
I was in a casino that night. And
Call the
funnily enough,
hotline.
I listen. Yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. I was winning more in the casino more than the Cardinals did that night. That was and what's funny is I got the worst casino luck ever. So if I'm winning more than them, there's a problem. There is a major problem. But
the Cardinals haven't met my body count in points in many weeks.
Woof. Go get yourself checked out, Will.
Already have. I'm clean.
Are you?
Yeah.
Post the STD scores.
I am clean as a motherfucker. I'm so clean, they're positive. They listed it on the thing.
See, what wasn't clean? What wasn't clean was the pocket for Kyler Murray for the past like 3 weeks. That's not been clean. And don't get this me as excusing Kyler Murray because we'll get to that. We'll get to Kyler Murray here in just a moment. But I think the best way to start is just talk about just the offense in general, about how awful it's been, hasn't it? It's been pretty bad this season. It's been
horrendous.
Yeah.
It's been horrendous. I mean, Pat Singh, all he ever had to do in Cleveland was teach Deshaun Watson not to pass and just hand off the ball to Nick Chubb. He never had to do shit in Cleveland. I don't know. That hiring from the day it was announced was puzzling. It's still puzzling now, and I pray to God he's fired at the end of the season.
I unfortunately don't foresee us firing him, which is it's greatly disappointing because we have no passing game. And watching that Rams game back, I felt like we had more creativity and we did a better job at getting Marv involved, getting Trey
But
McBride
where the
involved,
fuck was
moving
that?
the ball better.
Yeah.
But where has this been all year? But what's crazy is that I feel like we moved the ball better, but we still could only put up 9 points. Shout out Nick L, frequent visitor of the channel. He says Murray is trash, and I'm tired of supporting him. How do you feel about Murray, guys?
I was a day one Murray guy. In the last month, I have fully turned. I know. I after this upcoming year, after this next year, the second we can get fucking Lenora Sellers, I am all in on him. Give me that at this point. I am so sick of having to defend Kyler Murray.
So if we let's roll on back to draft night. What was it, 2019? I think that's when we drafted him. 2019, right? I was a Rosen guy. I was always let's stick behind Rosen.
Oh no, you
Let's
drafted
go
him.
there.
You drafted him in fantasy. I beat your ass in fantasy that year.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But Rosen, I was always a Rosen guy. I wanted Quinnen Williams really, really bad. I really wanted Quinnen Williams.
Same.
And I didn't want Nick Bosa. I mean, yeah, he's good, but besides the point, when we drafted Kyler, I was mad. I was mad because I was like, oh, that's a wasted pick. We could have developed Rosen, this, that, and the other. And it was a whole thing. He bought me in around a rookie year when I realized, okay, this kid is good. This kid has potential. Let's see how he goes. And from, I want to say, to the end of 2021, like right around that midseason, I understood the hype behind Kyler Murray. He was a difference maker. I think he still is a difference maker. But I think, and I always circle back to this, that Green Bay game, Thursday Night Football,
It broke him.
After yes. The week after JJ Watt, his knee or shoulder exploded into a million pieces. that I circle back to as like kind of the peak of Kyler Murray as like what we wanted from him. And now it's been going downhill ever since.
It can also be cited as his, to steal a quote from a movie from last year, his canon moment, his canon event. Because ever since then, he has lost trust in so many fucking receivers after such minor shit that it's just frustrating. AJ Green, I get. Not turning around for that pass is criminal. But, not incorporating Trey McBride into the passing game against Carolina, I saw so many fucking open lanes for him from my angle. I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah, I mean, like you, Gule, I wanted Quinnen Williams. I was not bought into Kyler. I bought in his rookie debut when we almost came back and beat the Lions in that game in a tie. And I saw the potential there. And then he really started to take off once we got, D-Hop, a big weapon. And even that like rookie season, like you just always felt like he was not trying to lose. Like he really, put it all out there with these bum receivers. So I thought, okay, we can build on that. Get him a weapon, get him a true number one, and let's go to work. And unfortunately, D-Hop couldn't stay healthy for a lot of the time. Had his PED bullshit. And then this year, under a new offense, I'm like, okay, like you don't have to ask him to play hero ball, but also asking him to not play hero ball is led to what I feel is like a decline of his deep ball. He just hasn't been there for me, and it's frustrating because like he's putting up good individual numbers, good passer rating, but it's just the plays that you need him to. You just need him to make one play. I felt like all these losses came down to if he just made one play, and we haven't seen that consistency. I know he's still going to be the quarterback next year. I hope that we can really step up our passing game, incorporate some easier looks for Marv, more crossing routes, more rollouts for Kyler, maybe more design runs, get him back to what made him so special. But I feel like, next year is really going to be the hot seat for him. So I'm still going to support, but if he can't, put us over the edge, then I'm all in on Arch Manning at that point.
Arch Manning. I mean, because like you don't ever want to go tank commander because would you guys be shocked if Josh Dobbs beat us Sunday? Is he the starting quarterback next
He is.
Sunday?
Yes.
That's hilarious. I kind of just want to talk a little bit more so the receiving talent because we've always talked about like, oh, Kyler's never had help. He's never had help. He's always had to do it with bum right receivers. I'd argue that this season specifically, that is not true. I think this year he's had the best supporting cast.
No,
No.
There's no way you believe that.
Hear me out. Let me speak my truths here.
Okay.
So let's start with just in general the running back room, right? Let's start with the running back room. James Conner's the best running back we've had in like since CJ2K when it was here in 2015.
Absolutely not. You're
David Johnson.
David Johnson.
He did. He was okay. So David Johnson. See, I'm bad, but David Johnson, yes. But when Kyler Murray had David Johnson, he was butt. He was not good. And then it was like Andre. No, it was not Andre. It was like CJ2K got brought back for some reason, and there was like all these other guys that came in, but whatever. I think James Conner is the best running back we've had in about 5 years. Let's just put a pin in that. Yes, he is the engine of this offense. When he goes, the team goes, right? The problem with let me circle. So we have James Conner, right? Tight end Trey McBride is better than Zach Ertz ever was.
Yeah,
ever will be.
I don't care if he caught that game-winning touchdown this weekend. I don't care. Trey McBride's that guy, right? Wide receiver room. Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't care if he's a rookie. He's automatically year one. Is he the best wide receiver? No. Like we've ever had. No, D-Hop has been better. Hollywood's been better. This, that, and the other.
Hollywood.
She would argue.
Hollywood had flashes.
He did have flashes.
When he wasn't dropping the ball.
Exactly. That one game, he had like 12 catches, 100 yards. Couldn't get in the end zone. Oh, that's a theme with Kyler Murray's top guys, by the way. Can't get in the end zone. But you had Marvin Harrison Jr. Michael Wilson is probably not I think on any other team, he's like the best 3 in the league. Is he a solid 2? Yeah, but I think he's a good 3. And then you have guys like Greg Dortch, who when they get in space, are one of the more dynamic players in the league. It's just he never gets in space because we just run him on like little like curl routes, and then and the defender's right there. But going back to the whole thing, I think that combination of players is better than anything Kyler Murray has had in his previous years.
Over D-Hop and Christian Kirk and Rondell Moore.
You're smoking that copium, my friend.
I mean, because I don't know, because like the way I see it, I think love that is bad. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is fine, by the way, 100%. Yeah, he's totally okay. But I think that the running back talent and the tight end talent didn't match up with the wide receiver like Christian Kirk and D-Hop. I'd argue that Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. combined are better than D-Hop and Kirk combined. That's my little take of the day. Is it copium? Probably, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
Shout out Corey. Shout out Bo Bobbles. Bo Bobbles is in here as well.
That's my goat.
I mean, it's hard when your best wide receiver on the team is a rookie, and there's still some growing pains to be had. Mm-hmm. That pick that Kyler tried to throw the little Hail Mary up to him. I think if he high points that ball better, he might have came down with that. But that's a ball for D-Hop, not for Marvin Harrison.
The thing that pisses me off the most is I have to deal with Panthers fans right now who believe that Bryce Young is the second coming. Just because he had an okay QBR and a blowout against Tampa, and because he beat a fucking wounded Cardinals team. I am so fucking pissed that we lost to this Carolina team because I paid good ass money to get those seats. I paid my mental health watching that game. I threw my Kyler Murray jersey, in the trash after that game.
Did you pick it back up?
My dad picked it up and was like, "Son, we bought this for you." And it's like, I bought it for me. That was my money. I spent $80 on that jersey.
Okay, I wouldn't go
And-
that far. But
And-
it's just been frustrating because I want this man to succeed so bad. I'm tired of just getting guys on their way out to maybe have a friggin' okay season, maybe get us in a playoff, and then retire the next year. It's just all the kid's got all the talent, but there's just something between the ears that's just not connecting right now, and it's so frustrating, and it's sad. You know, I don't want to have to start over again. And
I don't either, but if we have to, we have to. It's frustrating watching him week in and week out keep us in games and get us out of them as well. I mean, that fucking pick he had against Carolina where he underthrows Marvin by like 10 yards was inexcusable. That was some fucking dog shit. Connor was right there. You force it to him. You run for 3 yards. You need a field goal. Why are you throwing 50 yards down the field for a fucking miracle?
I think Jackie said it best. He's broken. Kyler Murray's broken.
He is broken.
He's broken.
He is broken. And being there and seeing the fucking, the view from his angle, I saw so many fucking receivers that he could have tried to force it to and try to make the play if he really, really wanted to, that he didn't. And it is so fucking frustrating week in and week out to watch this team to know deep down that they're going to let me down and destroy me, and to have to deal with redneck country bumpkin fuckers, cousin fuckers, if you will, who think Bryce Young is now the steal of that fucking draft. This is not a joke. I saw a post from a Panthers fucking Instagram page, not affiliated, mind you, but it's one I follow just because I like to get some laughs in. I saw one that argued that trade where they traded three fucking picks, 2 firsts, a second, included, and DJ Moore for Bryce was somehow now worth it. I am sick of watching this team flounder to inferior competition. I am sick of supporting this team week in and week out and getting heartbroken. And this extends to all Arizona sports. I haven't even watched a full Suns game this year. I sold my fucking Suns Hornets tickets today because I don't want to go and watch my fucking heart get broken by a fucking Suns team that can't win against anybody. I was at the fucking Peach Bowl yesterday. Fucking New Year's 2025. You know what we're leaving in 2024? Sam Leave It. His name is fucking Leave It. Fuck, man.
Now.
And the only snakes alive are my fucking ex-girlfriends. Fuck the Diamondbacks.
Oh my. Okay. All right. I will say this in regards to the Peach Bowl. I'm not blaming anybody on the offense for what happened on that day. The fact that they were even in it, the fact that there even was a complaint for targeting and all that is insane to me, considering where ASU was. Now, I was stood up and I was hoping to God on that 4th and 13 that I would get a miracle, that there wouldn't be some SEC horse shit miracle Tom Brady, open wide receiver by 10 yards, fucking horse shit that I have to sit through. I was waiting for a fucking miracle. It's not a miracle, though, because here's the problem. It's not a miracle. When it's 4th and 13, why are you doing basically an all-out blitz with your 2 safeties just chilling back there? Why are you doing that? And then if you're going to do that, why is the safety not keeping Golden in front of him? In addition to that, if you're gonna do any of that, right? Because in reality, it was working. The play kind of worked. He had to force up a ball into double coverage. The problem is double coverage just left them. There he is. Oh man, he caught the ball. Oh rats! All right, time to get back on defense. And they scored again. Oh, Texas scored again. All right, well, the season's over. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, you know what sucks? I had a hookup lined up that I was ready to go to midway through the game, and then they started coming back, and I was like, well, shit, my dick's not getting wet today, but at least the Sun Devils will win.
Oh, no.
Man.
So my dick didn't get wet, and I didn't get a Sun Devils victory. I was a fucking loser yesterday in Atlanta.
You should
Man,
at least go to the strip club afterwards. I've heard they have some nice gentleman clubs out there. If anybody
In
in the
Atlanta?
comments is listening and can confirm, please let me know.
Y'all owe me some reparations. I want to go to Magic City on y'all's fucking dime.
listen,
I am Venmoing Cam Scattaboo some fucking request money.
Not
But no.
Scattaboo.
no,
MVP
Scattaboo did
in the
nothing
Peach
wrong.
Bowl.
That's my goat right
Okay.
there. I'm
No.
sorry.
Okay, fine.
No
Sam,
Scattaboo
leave it.
sweater.
There we go. Sam, leave it.
So are you guys ready for the next stage of Arizona sports heartbreak when Cam Scattaboo is a San Francisco 49er? Are you guys ready for
Hey,
that?
at least we have the Coyotes still.
Ooh,
They are.
shout out Nick
See,
L.
there they are, right there. But no,
It's a waste of
it's just-
water. We shouldn't be using it anyway.
Man, those tiny stadiums. I'm not gonna lie, that's like the vibiest arena ever. But it's not an NHL arena, like obviously. But man, the vibes were kind of immaculate there. Can't even lie. Cannot even lie. At least we got Corbin Burns. Let's go, D-backs. Hey, Corbin
That was a
Burns.
good pickup.
I refer to my previous comment about the Diamondbacks.
Listen. It's gonna end up where he signed because he had his kid here, so he's not. Is it a thing where it's like, now he's not gonna try as hard? Maybe we'll see. But hey, we got Corbin Burns. We don't have to pay Zach Gallen anymore.
Sanders says he wants to come on and give his thoughts. Can I give him the link?
Yeah. Oh,
Give me a second.
Sanders is gonna roast us. Shout out Sanders.
Give me a second.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
See, I hate it. It sucks like losing and shit, and then having to do this podcast at the end, like in December and January, and there's just no more meaningful football. There's no more joy, and it's like I feel like my enthusiasm, like in the earlier episodes, I'm more upbeat and lively, and then now I'm just like shit.
I looked at the schedule for next year. I saw
Phil Burns from my O's. He's a snake, literally.
He's a snake.
Off emoji.
Yeah.
I looked at the schedule for next year. I see 5 wins if we're lucky.
Oh, and that's another thing too, is that we got the 3rd seed, so we have a little gauntlet of a road schedule.
Because the Niners can't even fucking bail us out, so they're going to go from 4th to 1st, and then we're going to have to hear about what a fucking miracle that is.
And then
Fuckers.
we're gonna get carved up by Josh Dobbs.
They have the biggest baby cake schedule I think I've ever seen a team in our division have. I don't think there's like 2 hard games in their schedule. It's embarrassing. And they're going to be like, because Brock's probably coming back, right? Because I don't think they'll do anything crazy at the quarterback position. They're going to run the same guys back. McCaffrey's going to be fine. They're going to go like 12-5, and everyone's like, oh, the Niners are back, guys. When it's like,
And we're going to get another fucking Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl because that's what we all fucking wanted.
well, because we're getting Eagles Chiefs again, by the way. We're getting that. And then we're going to do another repeat of Mahomes being Superman. And why can't we be blessed like this, right? That's what I'm arguing. Why can't we be blessed with the luck to have like, the Niners can have one bum here, but then here's their easy baby cake schedule. Here's their super acquaintances, Avengers level team of support. And look, they're back in the top. When we suck forever. We do.
And we lost to a fucking Seattle team that was held to 6 points by the Bears. 6 points.
I thought the Bears were gonna beat them. Holy shit! And that's
They weren't.
That's another thing too. Is that they've only put up 6 points on the fucking Bears, who we blew the doors off of. So it's like, is Seattle actually good, or we just suck that much?
And not only that, 6 points on a broken ass Bears team that has nothing to play for, has a terrible new coach who is going to be gone by the end of the year. I mean, that is a team you put 40 on. That is a team you put 50 on. 6 points is embarrassing.
Nick L says someone in Arizona needs to sacrifice a virgin to the football gods. And see, the whole thing was like ASU's in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, this is our Arizona sports sacrifice. We have to suck so ASU can succeed, only to just break our hearts in the end. And that's exactly how it is as an Arizona sports fan. One team, there can only be one good team at a time, and then they'll kind of make it. They'll kind of go on a run, kind of get our hopes up that maybe this could be it. This could be the year. And then they take a shit on my face. Corey says, which position would you all spend more on the best free agent this offseason? Edge, guard. And he gave some names: Reddick, Sweat, Trey Smith, Dalton, Brinsner, Tevin Jenkins. I'm honestly going to go edge. We haven't really had much pressure on the quarterbacks in these last.
We need some top
4
tier
games.
edgers.
Yes.
I'd say Sweat would be crazy. I think, considering the draft class this year, as you know, as a Cardinal fan, I've already kept up with the draft classes already. The edge talent in this class, the edge rushers, are top to bottom, like probably the best edge rushers in a very long time. You got guys like Michael Williams and Abdul Carter, James Pierce. You have the dude for Kentucky, Dion. What's his name? There's a dude for Kentucky. He's really good. There's another Georgia guy who's really good. There's like so many guys. Ole Miss, there's Princely from Ole Miss. All of these guys are available there. So to make me think that, okay, instead of spending that money on edge when we can draft someone in the first round, let's spend that money on the offensive line, more so the guard position. I don't think Will Hernandez will be back. I think his knees kind of exploded. Unfortunately, he was really good though when he did play. And then I think who's the other guard we have? Couldn't tell you.
If somebody knows, but I'm going to put
on defense. I have 3 names in free agency that I want. I want either Sweat, Young, because he's young, and I think he's still got a lot of potential, or I want Kinlaw. Those are my 3 names on defense.
We do have a lot of money. We do have a lot of money to spend.
Corey also says interior offensive line protection for Kyler. Because, like I said, Kyler's going to be the quarterback next year, regardless of how we all feel at this given point in time. So if we're going to try to make him a pocket passer, at least get him the protection to stay in the pocket. But
I can't believe we drafted
in this draft.
I can't believe we drafted the DeAndre Ayton of wide receivers this year.
Oh, and then Kevin Brown,
Isaiah Adams, who's been so who's the rookie we drafted from Illinois? Is that Brown or Adams? Okay, so he's been butt. Cologne, I think, is a good.
By the way, instead of trading up in the first with our later first, we decided to keep all of our fucking thirds so we could draft that guy. So I hope that made me happy.
And not only that, we drafted Isaiah Adams, who's been awful. Tip Ryman, who I don't care how
is a fine blocker.
He is a tight end you drafted to be a blocker. You couldn't have traded up and go get Chop Robinson. You couldn't have gotten. You couldn't have Latu. No, we got
Mitchell. Fucking Quinion Mitchell was on the board. We could have traded up and gotten the best rookie corner of this entire draft. We are bereft of corner talent.
We could have, because I remember there was a thing where the Lions, they took our call. They thought we were trading up for Quinion. That's what they thought that we were doing. But no, we stayed put. We drafted Darius, which again I'm going to give him a chance because he's had probably the worst year of his life. So I'm not even going to blame him. For what
I'm not blaming him either.
Yeah. We're not throwing Robinson.
No, He's gonna. I'm excited to see what he does in year 2. With not only that, but with the other additions we make, with like BJ Ojulari is going to come back.
We've said that 2 years in a row, buddy.
Browning might be a good depth piece, but I think
Baron Brown.
We should.
Guys, when Robert Alford comes back, our cornerback room is going to be loaded. That's a throwback.
I be honest? I don't even hate our corner. Ignore Sean Murphy Bunting. He's like the just ignore that. Put him in the corner. Don't look at him. I like
Sanders. You are quiet. Let's hear it, buddy.
Oh boy, it's been a while.
Unleash the fucking Kraken.
Oh no! But disclaimer, folks. This is our buddy Sanders. He is a Baltimore Ravens fan, so this is completely objective opinion.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Cool. Also, I'd like to mention, you should look at my Twitter profile. It says Go Ravens, but after that it says Go Mercury, Go D-backs, and Go Suns. I'd like to excuse you for a second there. I'm 80% Arizona over here. I just chose not to be miserable with the Cardinals when I was 8 years old, and I thank my 8-year-old self for that every damn day.
I hate you. Go fuck yourself.
Wait, I know. But you're a Suns fan. You're a Suns fan, though. You're a Suns fan.
Oh, yeah.
Last
decade and a half has been miserable, let me tell you. Well, we all get that. Anyways.
There's some misery to your life, Sanders.
Oh yeah, of course there is. You know.
All right, let us have it.
I've moved to Indiana and live in the Indianapolis area. Everybody here is fucking Colts fan. So. Speaking of which, I will be at the Pacers Suns game this Saturday. Super excited for that one.
You're gonna be at the what?
The Pacers Suns game on
I
Saturday.
can't imagine. It's like
I'm like, hold on.
that's the battle of mid right there.
Yeah, well, I'm still gonna go support my team. It's the only time I'm gonna be able to see them this year. Now that I live in Indiana.
Corey says the Baltimore resident that chose the opposite path. Hey, you guys need to just switch up. Come move it on out here and be miserable in the heat, Corey. Send Sanders to Baltimore.
That's so funny. That guy, like, he's a Baltimore resident and he didn't go for the. That's kind of wild, actually. I feel like anybody I've met from Baltimore is huge on the purple and black. Anyways,
They're also huge on the Klan too.
I came here for a reason. There's a lot of negativity on Aerosports, rightfully so, right? But I actually wanted to come out and provide, like, I guess, a third-party perspective on some of it. Obviously, some of it I'm biased to because, I'm so sick of watching the Suns be mid. Obviously, I think the signing by the Diamondbacks recently was very cool. But I wanted to talk about ASU and the Cardinals, if you guys don't mind, for a second here.
Go for it. Hit me. Hit me with it.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And also, just to be clear, can we hear me clearly?
Yes.
You can speak up a little bit.
You what?
I said, can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, is this better?
Yeah, that's better. It might be my AirPods, but I appreciate that.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so I want to say I feel like there shouldn't be a ton of negativity towards Arizona State. I think the targeting call was kind of bullshit. But outside of that, like, Arizona State went above and beyond. And there's probably going to be a lot of top-ranked prospects that are not going to be interested in going to ASU in the first place, especially because Kelly Dillingham
Branch
is the real deal. So I don't think there's a lot to be negative about that. At the end of the day, like, I mean, the targeting call is off, but, like, on the other hand, like, why are you blowing a 4th and 13? And then why are you proceeding to, blow it again in double OT on one play and then giving up the 2-point? Like, once they got the 2-pointer, I was just thoroughly convinced that it was over because I wasn't so sure we were going to get a 2-pointer after that anyway. But, it was a good run by ASU, and I wanted to be more positive about it and say, like, it's hard to be mad at that season. They did so good, and they did so much well. I think the thing that's going to be hard to replace is obviously a Heisman candidate in Cam Scatterby, right? That's going to be the hard thing to do, I think, for ASU, is how do you replace that?
Those Texas fans were bitching about their cow, but I saw their wives. That cow was there.
Oh, my God.
William, you're going to get us canceled.
He's going to majorly get you guys canceled. Here, I'll even show my face. I'm not a baby.
Ah,
I know.
You're never getting that shit out of me.
Show my face again once you start winning.
Yeah, I know. We never are. We couldn't before. So, hey, here's the other thing too. Let's talk about the Cardinals for a second here. I'm just trying to provide some perspective here. Okay, what were the expectations in preseason? Right, like what? In my opinion, it was 8 to 9 wins.
But here's the thing. I mean, expectations shift over time.
No. But before you go to the whole expectation shift thing, because yes, you were 6-4, you were leading the division. But let's talk about expectations, right? It was 8 to 9 wins, right? Never did anyone actually explicitly say that you had to be like 4-5, and then 5-6, and then 7-8, and then 9-8, or 8-9. Nobody said that, right?
very true.
Nobody said that. I think what happened after going 6-4 is the Cardinals resorted back to the mean. Their roster still needs a ton of work. Their roster was never that great in the first place. Like, it's a little top heavy. What do you got? Like, I'm sorry. Like, even as someone who pays attention to the Cardinals, I really can't name any defensive players anymore on that roster anymore. Now I can't anymore.
I was talking about our D line with my dad the other day, and I genuinely could not tell you who's on it.
That's my point, right? Is they overachieved with a defense that's just not that great, and I think that's a testament to Jonathan Gannon's coaching. I think a bigger issue, and if you've seen my Twitter lately, you guys know, especially on this podcast, you guys know, because I've been on here like 4 or 5 times in the last 4 or 5 years. I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan, but like I've been very down on him this year. Over the last month, I've genuinely questioned whether he's like the real option or not. You have to give him next year. because of the contract and because there isn't better options. Like, you're not drafting Quinn Ewers, right? You're not doing any of that. So you're going to stick with him for one more year, and you're really going to see whether you're able to do something with him or not. What sucks is if you get rid of Drew Petzing like a lot of the fan base wants to, that means you're putting Kyler Murray under another first-year offensive coordinator, right? It's just not a good recipe for a quarterback at all or for the offense at all. And that's probably my biggest concern. I feel like you have a general manager and a head coach. I just don't know if you have a quarterback or even an offense in general. And James Conner's not getting any older. I think those are the primary concerns in Arizona. But I will say at the end of the day, they did meet expectations for the season, regardless of how it went. I think it was just they reverted back to the mean from being 6-4, as much as it sucks to view it that way.
And that's
Here's my
very well
crank.
put. I mean, no
Here's
one
my-
wants to hear the positive right now because everybody's expectations shifted to we have a chance to make the playoffs. We had a chance to, win the
He had
division.
a shot to win the division.
But at the end of the day, it's not a complete roster. It's a first-year offensive coordinator with the first full year of his quarterback, and you're still trying to figure it out. And you come from a tree of run-heavy offense, and you've got a rookie wide receiver that is supposed to be like the best, wide receiver prospect coming out of college in how many X amount of years. So it's just a lot on his plate, I feel, that he doesn't know how to handle. So I think they have to do a lot of reevaluating this offseason, with especially the passing game. If I'm Kyler Murray, I'm doing what I can to get back to that dog mentality. I'm trying to pick Drew Brees' brain. How can I, as an undersized quarterback, be successful in this league? I'm just getting all the outside help. I'm doing vacations with Marv to, go to Texas, go to California, get some extra, practice in, try to build a rapport. And your career as a Cardinal is on the line next year.
Heck, go do some weird exercises on a plane with Russell Wilson and ask him how he can be an undersized quarterback as well. Do that too.
Or shit, get Russell Wilson in here to back up.
Huh?
Fuck, man.
Incorrect. I'm not doing that.
I wouldn't hate it,
fact
but I
that-
still feel like Russ
the
wants to
fact
be
that-
a starter.
The fact of the matter is, we need an actual, honest-to-God backup to come in next year, because I don't think Kyler Murray lives in enough fear for his job right now. I think he is perfectly content with being mediocre week in, week out, because he knows they can't replace him with Clayton Tim.
I don't think that's true. Because just someone who works with athletes on a daily basis, I don't actually think that's true. I think there is probably a mental block going on with Kyler right now, and he doesn't know how to get past. I think that's
He's
genuinely
broken.
might be it.
He's currently broken, and the goal this offseason is to somehow fix it. I don't know. Like you
Get
said,
this boy a
plenty
fucking
of-
therapist.
Well, good quarterbacks do things like that. Like Corey said, I like the idea of Drew Brees and change his off-season workout program. We saw it with Josh Allen. I think after year one, because he had this monster of an arm. He just wasn't the most accurate, and he sought out Jordan Palmer just for some help. It's like, get some outside. I know he's close to his dad, and they do some workouts and things like that. But I'm like, get all the outside perspective you can to really get and it's mostly just a mental thing. Like, get your head back in the game. Pick some of these these veterans' brains and try to just do what you can to help yourself.
I will say, if you look at that entire draft class that you just mentioned, like Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, all those guys had maybe Lamar didn't have as rough of a start, but he definitely had his criticisms of, like, he can't throw, which to me was the most annoying thing in the world. I knew he could throw after, like, week 16, his rookie year. Like, it was, you watch that game and you're like, oh, he can throw.
They limited him in that offense. But yeah,
What?
They absolutely limited him in the offense. Like, they told him, don't throw these balls because we just would rather you run it.
Yeah, and then on prime time in his sixth game ever, he throws his massive 72-yard touchdown to Mark Andrews. I'm like, oh, he can throw. We're good. Like, we know he can. He's a way better quarterback than he was 4 years ago. Lamar Jackson is. Josh Allen is infinitely a better quarterback than he was the first couple of years. Baker Mayfield, I think, is relatively the same quarterback in terms of, like, talent and where his play is, but he's a much more mature person mentally. He's a much more mature person, and he improved, with his IQ and his intelligence. So now he's a much better and smarter decision maker. Like all those guys proved that like you can get it done, right? And you can improve. I think Kyler Murray can do the same. But as someone who's been a huge Kyler Murray defender, I do want to say that like I think next year's the last year. Like you as a Cardinals organization cannot say we're okay with this after 7 years. If he can't get it done in year 7, like you're out. And I honestly I think you should be out this year, but the problem is there's not a better option this year. So you have to let next year play out and you have to hope that he's better. You have to.
We need a better
Yeah.
backup.
That's true. Everybody needs a better backup, by the way, I want to say. Everybody needs a better backup.
Not the Steelers.
We've learned over the last 2 years that if you don't have a backup quarterback, you don't have a real football team. I want to say there's something to be said for if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. There's that saying too, but like I think I'd rather have 2 quarterbacks than no quarterbacks. That's just me.
Corey says, and we know Kurt has been begging to be a part of Kyler's growth process. He's always talking about it through the season. And that's
Man,
true.
I
I feel
hope
like
Kurt
every
Warner
time
does
Kurt
that.
Warner breaks down film, it's always about Kyler, but in an indirect way. Or, he did break down our games. But, I see he goes on his like Twitter rants during the game. And I know that's who he's talking about. So I would love it too if he could somehow reach out to Kurt Warner just to pick his brain as well. Because, like I said, he's got all the talent. There's just something wrong between the ears.
I also want to say
good.
this too. I don't think I've said this before on Twitter too, and honestly, I feel like it doesn't matter at this point. Like if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. I feel like you guys need to turn him into a Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson type. Like you guys need to be making him run 500, 600 yards a season, like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson too. Like the Cardinals are infinitely better on offense when Kyler Murray's. I want to say like. If I'm correct, somebody correct me if I'm wrong in this. If I'm correct, aren't you guys like 10-3 when Kyler Murray runs for more than like 50 yards in a game? Like I think that says a lot that like when a defense sees that a quarterback is running, they have to adjust. You know what that opens up? Everything else. Opens up the running backs route lanes. It opens up the wide receivers because now they need a 12th man guarding it. Like it's why like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson work so well. They both have rocket arms. They can both throw 60 yards down the field. So you got to worry about that. They both have speedsters. One's got Zay Flowers. The other has Keon Coleman right now.
And they're also perfectly willingly.
Like,
the top 3 quarterbacks in the league have one big thing in common. They all are willing to beat you on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Kyler Murray is not willing to do that.
Run too. Like,
But I said top. I said top 3, not Jalen Hurts.
I didn't mention Jalen Hurts top 3, but I'm just like saying even Jalen Hurts who plays really well also runs the ball.
I'm just saying top and Jalen Hurts don't belong in the same sentence.
And that's the thing too. It's like some of these plays that we watched throughout the season, like there's a little bit of an open lane for Kyler to take off, and he's still trying to force the ball out to somebody. And it's like, dude, just live to see another down. And he's always been relatively good at protecting himself. So it's not like he's running around taking these big shots like he's Tua.
You mean like that play 2 weeks ago when he launched a 40-yard punt?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, so I have no idea. I've basically shut myself down to anything Cardinals until draft time. I'm not watching this weekend. I've turned off. I deleted Arizona Sports 98.7 FM from my phone. I turned off my score notifications.
I've done that a long time ago.
Okay. Oh, buddy.
I know. Shout out to the fucking Arizona Sports app. I was trying to listen to the game yesterday, and the broadcast would not load.
Great app. I've never been able to get it to work, like, ever.
Great app for me to poop on a...
Hey.
Anyways. Hey, how about you guys cut the budget for not Dave Burns. What's the other fucking fuckface?
The dude with the mullet and the perm.
But the guy with the perm, what's his fucking name?
Dan Bickley. Dan Bickley.
Salary, use that money to make your app better.
Or at least let me turn off fucking notifications for shit I don't want. I don't want fucking Diamondbacks notifications. You will never get me to care about baseball. Fuck you.
Thumbs down on that one. That's the most successful team in the state. It's the truth. It is God honest your dad. They are the most.
Hey, Gule, how many World Series wins have you witnessed in your lifetime?
I was 2 months old. We won in 2001. I was 2 months
I'm
old.
old, dude. I'm old.
I was
Bro,
9 months
6 when
old.
that happened. What?
Sorry, no, I was 9 months old. I was 9 months old.
Y'all are young. I was 6. Jackie, how
I
old were
was
you?
7. I was 7.
Okay, so yeah, we're close.
At least
How's
you
that
guys
happen?
remember it. I can't. The only thing I remember is heartbreak and sadness.
Hey, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
dark
it
humor for a second because I know I can on this show. Jackie, that means you and I remember 9/11 and they don't.
That's what I was just about to say. I'm like, there's a 9/11 joke here somewhere, dude.
Hey, here's the biggest 9/11 joke. Okay, and it has to do with Arizona sports. The one championship that Arizona sports have is the one time that nobody in America wanted us to win it because it was against the New York Yankees right after 9/11. Literally, we ruined all of America's party.
Is there like a political cartoon where the fucking Taliban and it's a Diamondbacks logo or something like that? That's how
no.
much people just didn't want us to win. That's
No,
how
they
that's how
did
bad.
because they wanted New York, the team that just withstood a terrorist attack, to win. Like literally, like I said, the one championship we have, we ruined it for America. We ruined it.
Drew Petzing is the biggest terrorist in Arizona since Hani Hanjour.
Wow.
Oh no.
Okay, you know what, Jackie? I think your show's getting canceled no matter what.
Yeah, no. This might be our
I-
final season. I'm about to
I-
scrub all
Nobody
the fucking
watched this
audio
shit.
from YouTube. We have 90 people listening right now, Will.
Oh shit! What? That is the most we've ever had. What the fuck?
See, it's
No,
the me
it's
effect.
hard to see it.
I bring the viewers. Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
100%. So I did want to bring this up. Let's circle this all the way back to I want to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. for a second. And no, this is not going to be negative like it's been all day. I want to kind of prop him
That
up
shit
a little
says
bit.
3 viewers. You fucking lied to me. Oh wait, you're talking about Twitter. Oh, never mind.
It
Yeah.
streams to my Twitter. I have
Yes.
almost 4,000 followers and 90 people are listening. Will.
What an asshole he is, right? Anyways,
Marvin
Marvin Harrison
Jr.
Jr.
We've known.
Marvin Harrison
new.
Jr. One of the best things about him, what made him so generational, was his route running. Right? He is one of the best route runners in football already. I will argue that. So there's a stat that came out, I believe, last week that Marvin Harrison Jr. is leading the league in yards off of crossing routes. Right? So you figure, okay, right, that's what we should be doing, right? So riddle me this: why the fuck are we throwing him fade routes? Why are we doing that?
We can't get the timing down right. And yeah, I think I brought that up earlier. Is that like I feel like he's at his best when we're doing crossing routes, and I've
when
seen
he's in
maybe
motion.
one in the last 3 weeks.
And it's like there's so many clips. Don't get me started. Where like it'll cut from like the all 28 cam or all whatever cam, all 22 cam, and you'll see Marvin Harrison Jr.'s wide open. He's wide open, and Kyler's either looking at him or he's off to the side or he's got some pressure in his face, and he just does not deliver the ball to him. I think for somebody who's like touted as a generational prospect, if you had these high expectations of, he needs 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns and lead the league and this, that, and the other, I think your expectations were set way too high, just in general. I think.
I mean, if we were just going to be a power run team, I would have liked it if we had just drafted Joe Alt instead.
I still think no. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., when he gets to the point where, okay, he's got his confidence, which that's his main thing, is his confidence, right? That's the main thing. I think we see it on the sideline where, like, if the play is a run, you could tell by his demeanor. Or if he's dropping a couple passes, you could tell. Like, it fucks with his mental a little bit. Once we get him to the point where, like, that's not a problem as much anymore, then it should be fine. I still think I will defend the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick. The fact that I even have to do that is crazy to me. But I will defend the Marvin Harrison Jr. selection till the day I die, because that was the right pick.
I think he's a solid player. I just don't know if this is the team he needs to be on. With the way our offense is structured, I don't know if he was the right pick.
And that's a fair take, because I said that too. If we're trying to be this run-heavy team and make Kyler Murray a pocket passer, you take Joe Alt, and maybe you get T. Higgins in here or something. But it is what it is. We have this kid that we have to develop. So, but I don't know if we have the coaches to develop him.
Well, and here's the thing, right? I wanna take a look at a team that we lost to a couple weeks ago in very heartbreaking fashion. I want to look at the Minnesota Vikings for a second because I think they have a very valid comparison for what I'm about to say. So they have Justin Jefferson, right? He is the best wide receiver in football. I think he's better than. Well, you could argue Jamar Chase, but 1 and 2.
I'll argue Jamar Chase.
You'll argue Jamar Chase, but Justin Jefferson is one of the best players in ball, right? He just is. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Going into this season with Minnesota, they had Sam Darnold, right? Nobody expected them to go 14-2, did they? I don't think a single person would have even, not even Minnesota fans would have argued that, right? Part of why Minnesota is so good is because of, one, they had the simplified offense for Sam Darnold to run in, and 2, they have that X factor in Justin Jefferson who can go off and give you 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and be the reason why you win a game, right?
Well,
That is why.
why.
What's up?
Don't forget they have 2 wide receiver ones essentially. Jordan Addison is also out here putting up 120-yard games too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. He's amazing too. Out of college, I was.
They grow fucking wide receivers on trees in Minnesota.
But my point being is that even if you have like either a simplified offense or you have a run heavy offense or this, that, and the other, you should still look out for that number 1 guy who is going to be the reason why people, like defensive coordinators, have to stress about him, right? Because before last season, who was our wide receiver 1? Can you guys tell me? Was it Hollywood? Was it Hollywood? Was it Michael Wilson for like a week? Was it like?
But the thing was like last year, the defensive coordinators were stressing about the threat of Kyler running.
That's true. That's also true. Well, and it's a thing where it's exactly my point. Kyler Murray has that X factor with his legs, right? Why are we not using more of Marv's X factor with his ability to not only run like crossing routes, but he can run other routes too, except for like the little go routes we do with him. I don't get that. That's the thing I think we need to address mainly in the offense is just getting it working is let's limit the go routes a little bit. These little curl routes that we do with him, and let's get him across the middle of the field. I understand maybe Kyler Murray, he doesn't feel comfortable throwing it in the middle of the field, or maybe that's where Trey McBride is more comfortable. But I think getting Marvin Harrison to the point where he becomes that, okay, now we have to take away this middle of the field because if we let him roam free, that's game over. That'll open up so much more for this team that it's insane. They have to play pass, which lets you run the ball better, and it's complementary. I don't know.
You're right. It would open
right.
up a lot more run lanes if that's where we want to go with it. But yeah, just our offense is just so predictable.
Yeah, it honestly, God help me. You never would have heard me admit this earlier in the year. It honestly makes me nostalgic for Cliff.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury ran screenplays. I don't think how many screenplays have we run this season?
We don't have anybody who can run a screenplay. It's all fucking route runners.
We tried to do the running back screens, and that it kind of worked for a minute.
Also doesn't work because Connor's not that guy. He's not that fast. He's fast, but he's not that fast.
No, he's a power back.
Yeah. We have Greg Dortch, and then again, I said it earlier. He's a guy who, if you give him some space to move, if you give him like a couple of yards just to make some moves, he'll get you that first down, or he'll get you like 8 or 7 yards on that first down for if you throw a screen. But we just don't use him that way. We use like Zay Jones a bunch. I'm pretty sure.
Why the fuck did we sign Zay Jones?
So we spur money. By the way, Darnell Mooney was the free agent. We didn't sign him. We signed Zay Jones. But we're so good at. Oh my god, do we even?
I'm gonna start my car in my garage.
All right, have fun. Do we even want to talk about Monty Austin for a little bit? Because I feel like there's some blame that needs to be put on Monty as well.
Yes, let's talk about.
We talked all this shit about Kime not being able to draft, and we hyped up Monty. What were we doing? What were we doing?
Hey, hold on a second. I'm probably one of the most positive people about Monty, and I'm going to be before you all get negative, and I'll let you all be negative after. Okay. Take it from me, someone who gets to watch a wizard at GM every single year. Like We robbed you guys of a first-round pick. We robbed the Jaguars of Calais Campbell with a 6th-round pick. Like, Eric DeCosta is a wizard. Every year is a
EDC,
GM.
man.
Like, drafted our first ever Pro Bowl wide receiver ever in history. Got Derrick Henry. Tried to trade for Derrick Henry last year in like week 15 when we were like 13-2 at the time, but the Tennessee Titans told us no. Screw them, by the way.
Well, yeah, because it was past the trade deadline. Stupid.
No, it was right before that.
Oh.
It was right before the trade deadline. It was like week 12 or some shit. But and it was when the Titans were clearly down the drain. But they told us no. And it was like, okay. And we got him anyway. But none of this being the point. The point is that like my GM is a wizard. And my GM before that was also a wizard and is in the Hall of Fame. And probably will be inducted into the Hall of Fame again as a GM as well. Monty does a lot of things that the Ravens organization does in terms of how he handles draft picks, how he trades them, and when he does the compensatory formula pick, which are all major things that all successful franchises do. The Green Bay Packers do it, the Steelers do it, the Ravens do it. Like, the 3 franchises I just named are consistently winners on a yearly basis. And it's because they give themselves so many chances to get a draft picks. I don't think you realize how many whiffs Eric DeCosta's had, the GM for the Steelers has had, and I forget who the current GM is for the Green Bay, but they've all had so many whiffs. You all have no idea. Like,
Oh, I know.
I've got so many players, like David Ojabo. I was so excited for him, for middle linebacker to finally give us a replacement, and he didn't work out, so we had to go trade for Roquan Smith. Oh yeah, we did that for a 4th-round pick from the Bears. Again, wizard. But at the end of the day, Monty Austinfort, I think, is doing the right things. Is he nailing them yet? No, but that's going to happen. Like, I think our entire 2022 draft, this draft that the Ravens did where only like one player worked out. And that's okay. Right? Like, it's okay, but you need to keep giving yourself shots. And that's what Monty Austinfort is doing. Over the course of the years, I think you guys will see the production from that. You're just not seeing it. So
I think
I want to hold on because he's doing the right things. He's doing what good do. That's my end rant on Monty Austinfort.
I think Jackie could penetrate the O-line better than our D-line can right now. Sign Jackie, Monty.
Was it because I'm getting heavier? Asshole. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not down on Monty. I know people wanted him to make splashes. I think he's just trying to be smart and really build this roster and not go crazy, and also have the money to extend the guys that deserve it.
But I mean, you go into this season with $24 million, with options still on the table, and you don't do anything with it. That's criminal.
I don't think, because I think even before the season started, that their expectations were low too. It's just kind of roll everybody out and see what we have, see who's worth, extending, because we also have a lot of free agents coming up and are on our own team. So you really have to evaluate who's worth getting extended, and then you can spend some money. But I honestly feel like don't put all your eggs in the basket if he's going to go big fish hunting this offseason. I don't think he is.
I will say McBride, making his first Pro Bowl, he's about to make buku bucks.
And rightfully
at
so.
a good time too, because
rightfully so.
He's right. We're gonna probably make him the highest paid tight end, and then Laporta will probably take that over once the time comes.
He cost me some fantasy championships or just seasons in general, by the way. That guy, oh my goodness, Sam Laporta. Maybe it's just because the Lions just don't use him, but oh my God, it was. And any McCaffrey, Laporta owners, just any of those owners, I'm so sorry. I understand that feel for you.
I traded for Brock Bowers this season. I'm doing pretty well. I actually won my championship. 4th place, and I won my championship.
Well, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Yeah, look at him being a winner. Jeez. Don't flex on us too much now.
Maybe I should teach the Cardinals how to GM.
Hey, he can't be a winner with his teams. He can be a winner in fantasy.
Exactly.
Call the hotline, Will.
1-800-GAMBLER.
I am the hotline.
What's your gripe with him, Gule? Sorry.
You're fine. With who specifically?
Monty, because you said you had some opinions.
So, my whole thing with Monty Austinfort is that we've all like the Cardinals, just media in general, has pushed this like thing of like, okay, let Monty cook, right?
We've glazed him. We've glazed the shit out of him.
Little bitsky, right? I think that we've anointed him like this like savior of the team way too soon. There's so much he has not proven yet, and we've already like given him like these like, oh, he's done so well so far because what he was like, what's the main thing he's done since he's gotten here? What is the main contribution you could think of as of right now that Monty Ossenfort has done for this team?
Extend McBride or extend Connor and Buddha.
Extend Connor and Buddha, exactly. Which the Buddha contract is. Oh, I hope he continues to play as well as he has, because there's years where like the year before where he was in the Pro Bowl, he was in the Pro Bowl, but like he had like I think it was just tackles. I don't think he had a pick or a deflection or anything crazy like that. But point being with Monty Ossenfort, a lot of people have anointed him as like he's like the next up and coming good GM. We haven't seen that yet. I don't think we have. Again, he's like it's been said, he's got the building blocks together. He's doing the right stuff, but the players he's like, like kind of building the team around, I still don't get it. I think he's spending this offseason would not be.
You don't like the Paris Johnson trade? Or that draft trade?
Especially when you could have had Will Hernandez, so you lost out on that.
Will Anderson.
Will Hernandez or Will Anderson? I apologize. Will Anderson. Okay. And then with that first round pick, I get it. It didn't work out. The Texans, CJ Stroud decided to be good his rookie season and then shit his pants the next season because of course that's our luck, right? But that pick went way above where we thought it was going to be, right? Your biggest issue is edge rusher right now. I think that is your number one priority. This is what you need to do in the offseason is get an edge rusher. Either through the draft, which I think we should do, or you pay him. I think we should, draft. He's got a great fit for the draft where Peter's going to be selected maneuvering. As a first year, his first year, I think that was good. I think it was good getting Paris the way he was. There's stuff like that where I'm like, okay, yeah, there's good things about it, but hold off. Wait a minute, because remember, we did this with Steve Keim. We're like, oh, it's Keim time where he traded for like Dwight Freeney in the middle of the season, or he gets this like CJ2K signing out the window, this David Johnson draft pick, and this, that, and the other. And like, yeah, it's Keim time. He's really good. And then we saw what he did to the team over time. So I think that's the main thing is that we're anointing a lot of these players or these like GMs and coaches and stuff like that way too soon. Give it another year. If we're starting to see more like dividends pay out, I know for like me specifically, I've liked what I've seen from like Dante Stills, like especially like, referring to like our late round picks, right? I like what I've seen with Dante Stills. I think he's one of the only defensive linemen on the team who's been really good. I like Dadrion Taylor Demerson. I think they call him Rabbit, right? That's just like his nickname. Yes. I'm very, very high on him. I like the Max Melton pick a lot more. I like the Garrett Williams pick a lot more. There's pieces starting to shift that I'm like, okay, let's keep it going, keep building this roster up. But I can't anoint him yet, if that makes any sense. I can't give him that like crown.
But like, I feel like that kind of plays into what Corey said was that, he has a good feel of where players are going to be selected. So I feel like he liked his guys and he knew he didn't have to really overspend or try to move up or down because he knew that the guys that he likes were going to be there. And I felt, that's what the situation was with Darius Robinson and Max Melton. We still have yet to see Darius Robinson's potential, but I've seen some good potential and some good production out of Max Melton. So I'm satisfied with where we took him. And he says holding the gun on moving up in the last draft was all because they had a ton invested in BJ. By no one's fault he got hurt. If they had a mulligan, they'd probably move up in the thirds to go up. And that's true. I feel like when everybody's talking about the frustration with the line is you're going into the season thinking that BJ was going to play, and then they had that what's his name that got hurt early that we picked up in free agency.
Bengals offensive tackle. Shit.
Jonah
No,
Williams? No, you're talking about
no.
defense?
The defensive line. It was something. His last name started with a C.
Not Collier. I know
Not
what you're
Collier.
talking about.
But I like Collier. I
He's a good depth guy.
yeah,
I don't
he's a
hate
good
him.
depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his?
That's
fucking
the
name?
thing.
Please, somebody
that's
tell me in the comments.
we should re-sign Kaiser White. Absolutely, I agree. But that's the main thing I think too that we're talking about is that we have a lot of depth guys, a lot of good. I
Bilal
think there's-
Nichols.
Bilal Nickel.
Sorry,
There he
it
is.
just came to me. Yes. Thank you, Nick.
Bilal Nickel. That. I did not like that signing, by the way. I think him and then the other guy, Justin Jones, I believe we got. They got paid and had the numbers they did because they played next to elite talents. More so, like I'm referring to Bilal Nichols when he played next to Max Crosby. Like, of course, you're gonna have good stats because Max Crosby's gonna take the brunt of the pass protection. But even then, I think, especially this offseason, I think we can kind of wrap this in a little bow here for what we need to do this offseason. An X factor edge rusher. That is, I think, priority number one. Because BJ, I like BJ. I think for right now, he's a good number two that we could do. But I think we need that guy. Like, for example, let me throw a name. Let's say somehow, some way we get Michael Williams out of Georgia, right? I don't think he'll follow us. What he would do for our defense on day one surmounts anything else we can do throughout, like drafting a guard, or I know some people want us to draft another receiver, which is insane.
I
Or
want us to
drafting another
draft
DB.
Ashton Junty.
No, we're not getting Janty.
Incorrect.
He's gonna be
Incorrect.
a 49er or a Cowboy.
He's the most obvious Cowboy ever. Mr. Genty is.
Well, no, the Cowboys are going to trade up to number one so they can get Shadur Sanders.
No,
I don't know
they
about
still
that.
own
I'll
Jack
take,
Doyle.
by the
L-take, by the way. They're not getting Shadur Sanders.
Shadur Sanders is gonna love it in Tennessee. That's all I'll say. He's gonna love it.
Too many
Tennessee.
teams need a quarterback, and all of them, Deion Sanders is gonna hate. Just saying.
So if Deion had the choice, right? If he had the choice, he said, "Okay, son, you're either gonna go
If he
to
had
Tennessee,
the choice, he'd be going to
New
Seattle.
York."
He'd be going to
Oh.
Seattle.
Oh, that'd be gross.
You know what we're going to see? We're going to
Unfortunately
see.
for you guys,
We're going to see.
he'd be going to Seattle.
We're going to see the Cowboys fire their coach, hire Deion,
Deion Sanders.
and then try to
Deion.
trade up to get.
I don't know if you guys have
Shadur.
been. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention or not, but based on the way Jerry Jones is talking every single week on 105 The Fan, which is a radio station in Texas, he goes on every single Tuesday to talk onto it. I don't think he's firing McCarthy. Just the way
I don't
he
think
talks
he
about
is either.
McCarthy.
Oh
They're
my
not.
God! What an
they're
idiot!
not-
Oh, he's not.
Well, no. Here's why. Here's why. Over the last 4 weeks, I think they've showed more heart and more fight than anything else. And I think Jerry Jones is like, well, that's what a good coach does. And we just need a healthy roster again. Which, to be honest, there is something to be said for that. But my question would be, well, what happened the first 5 weeks when you had a healthy roster? Right? Like nothing. So, he's going to give him another year. I promise you.
But-
you're not going to.
but
You're not gonna see
Sanders,
Mike
you
McCarthy go away.
Sanders, you don't understand. They were all in.
Well, no, that's
It was
funny.
their
That's a
year.
hilarious. That's a hilarious meme, and I get it. But at the same time, like he's not letting McCarthy go. That's just the only thing I'm going to say. I agree with Gule over here. Like I'm assuming that's how you say your name. Like McCarthy's not going away anywhere.
No, they're gonna forever be in purgatory, and that's okay with me because fuck the Cowboys.
I'm just trying to think of the stupidest
right.
thing they can do, and that seems pretty high.
I'm very
And see-
serious when I say the stupidest thing they could do is let go of Dak Prescott for Shadur Sanders. That is literally the stupid thing they can do.
Sanders will be a big bust. I think he's one of those players where he needs to be the exact right situation, and none of the teams in the top 10 are the correct situation for him. I don't think.
Normally I like a big bust, just not in the NFL.
William.
Can you not say that around my name either, please? would just appreciate that. Would really just appreciate that. Because when I read that at first, I was like, why is he calling me out? But then I realized we're talking about Shadur here.
Travis
Oh, yeah,
Hunter,
my bad.
man, We should trade it for Travis Hunter. What do y'all think, guys? We need a DB and a
How
wide
about
receiver.
how about you guys do? How about you guys do what most successful teams do, and make the non-sexy picks that the fan base is gonna hate, and then by like week 10, you're like, oh yeah, that was the right pick.
So
Like
Joe
for
Yeah,
Alt.
no.
example, like when the
Build the
Chargers
line.
drafted when the Chargers drafted their offensive lineman, like all Chargers fans hated that, and yet they have a great run game. I mean, Greg Roman's there too. But that's beside the fact. Like they have a great run game, and it's because they have Joe Alt.
Yeah, no. Joe Alt had a fantastic year. That was a great pick by them. If it wasn't going to be Marv, that would have been my pick as well. Which, speaking of the draft, I think Will, you sent in the group chat all the Pro Bowl selections, and there's so many of like my draft crushes in there. Devon
I will say this:
Witherspoon.
I have never
Whoa.
been wrong on my first round draft crushes. Never once.
Yeah, and like I said, Janty's gonna, probably rush for over 1,000 yards for the Cowboys, and probably
And
win Rookie
and
of the Year.
I feel like he's the guy you take so other teams can't have him.
No good team does that ever.
Listen, we
Okay,
can run
but
the
I
dual.
think they should.
We can run the two running backs in the backfield. We got Genty on the
If
left.
we're
We got Connor
if
on
we
the
want to
right.
be a fucking power running team so badly, draft a running back.
Listen, we're gonna run the triple option with Kyler Murray. Like I don't know if y'all
Exactly.
There we go. That might be the move. Low key. Then you
Get the fucking wishbone out there. Get the fucking wishbone. Get the
wing
fucking
T.
wildcat.
Give me some wing T. Give me some wing T out here, man. And then we're gonna
I
draft.
better see
Scatterboo in, like, the
Statue
fifth
of Liberty
round.
plays every third play.
We're gonna draft Scatterboo in the third round. He's gonna be like the
The third
running back.
Oh wait, Scatterboo. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, so you run Scatterboo as like your wildcat because he can still throw the ball, and then you have Ashton Genty on the left, and then you have Connor on the right, and then you just like.
Well, no. We're not getting.
What in
We're
the
not
Madden
getting.
is going on?
We're not keeping Connor. We're getting. Was Trevor Etienne in the 7th round?
Oh, all right. Can you? Is that legal? Can you run a 4 running backs in the backfield? Can you do that? If he's your quarterback, can you do that? See, like, listen, we're asking the right. Maybe this is why we're not the GMs, but we're asking the right questions regardless. Have we thrown a flea flicker this year? Listen. Now is
Has
the time
Kyler
to
Murray
do it.
ever thrown a flea flicker?
Didn't he do one for like 5 yards like this week or last week? Like it was the most like. It was like the most like flea flicker I've ever seen. Like, why'd you even do that?
I don't know, man. We're just at that point in the season where we're just playing Madden in our heads at this point, and we still have one more game left.
That's how we cope with the fact
that
that.
This is all cope. This is all for funsies.
I lost out on $2,000 because of this team.
Why did
Call
you
the hotline, brother.
Why
I
did you
didn't
put
bet.
money?
I did. Okay. I had this genius fucking scheme. FanDuel, they were doing deposit matches, but they didn't account on you immediately cashing out on your deposit. So I basically accrued enough bonus bets that I would have won $2,000 if this team made the playoffs without spending a dime.
Hey,
Well,
since we're full of negativity, I'm gonna throw what I feel is factual, but it could be interpreted as negative. I feel bad for Cardinals fans, not because of the misery that they go through every year, but because I look at your division and I'm like, yeah, you have 4 great head coaches, and that's tough. It's like the NFC North. Like, but here's the thing though, like, are you gonna have a bunch of teams where like, you have 3 12+ win teams? I'm not sure about that, but having Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDonald's still yet to be determined, but I'm biased because A, he won a championship with Michigan, and then B, was the defensive coordinator for a 14-3 Ravens team that was number 1 in every category defensively, right? And then he's come in and he's made defensive improvements for Seattle. Like, it sucks that you guys finally have what I feel is a good head coach, but so does the rest of
in
your
a
division.
crowded division.
Yes,
and
that's the problem, right?
And this is the thing.
You would have to do what the NFC North is doing. You'd have to have a Dan Campbell team going to possibly 15 wins, a Kevin O'Connell team possibly going to 15 wins, and then a Matt LaFleur team being like, hey, we're still here at like 12 wins, and then the Bears are the Bears. And unfortunately, right now, the Bears are the
Where's
Bears.
Bears?
The Cardinals are the Cardinals. Yes, unfortunately.
But this is the thing. After all the negativity and all the shit, at least Gannon has not lost the locker room, and there's not all kind of like internal behind the scenes drama that a lot
That
of
we
other
know of.
teams are dealing with.
And that's why
So
I said
at
you have a
least,
coach. It's very clear
yeah, we
you
have
have a
coach.
coach.
We have coach. We have and I feel like we have a good defensive coordinator he's young, but he's made the best of what he's got, and I think he's always has room for improvement. But it's not all terrible. It's just I hope in year 3 of this regime we can really figure it out. And like I said, we weren't supposed to be in a position to be in a playoff position at one point this year or win the division. So the expectations going into next year will be a little bit higher, especially if we can nail a draft and pick up some good players, some help in free agency. But we've been going for about an hour and 15. I have to do mom things. So any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
By the way, since we're not doing pick'ems, I figured I'd spill the tea. This week's Arizona San Francisco is Will's certified mega ass bowl.
I know I really haven't had a big dick player of the game these last few weeks, so unfortunately, unless we win in San Francisco and someone does some cool shit, there will
I
be
don't want to
no
win.
big dick player.
Your kicker scoring your points. There it is.
There you go. Chad Ragland, big dick player of
There's your big dick player.
2024.
And your
Listen.
Pro Bowl alternate.
Oh, is he really?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
All right.
if Brendan Aubrey somehow gets hurt this week, he'll be a Pro Bowler.
I
All
take
right.
it back. Trey McBride's my big dick player of last game because he did finally find the end zone. And
He popped
could
his
have
cherry.
two.
Man, I wish he would have found the end zone a second time. God
Yeah.
damn. Hey, you know what?
But,
You want to know why I wish you would have found it a second time? Not for your guys' sake of the win. I had a 2 T Higgins, 2 Trey McBride's touchdowns bet for just for the hell of it, and it would have got me 170. I was so mad.
Call the hotline.
Was
Call
so
the hotline. I love
Oh,
that.
it's reversed.
Yeah,
It's
that's like
great.
been the running joke of our group chats. Is every time
Oh
somebody
my
posts
God.
a bet, called the hotline.
I mean, I have been up every single month this month, so I've been doing pretty well. But man, I was so ecstatic when the ball went to him and then went off his helmet. I died on the inside, probably like the rest of you guys. I died on the inside.
It didn't really matter to me because now we're just playing for a draft position at this point.
I got out of Nosferatu just in time for that to be showing up on the replay.
Literally, that's what happened with me. I got Nosferatu right for that game. Same.
Real quick, off topic of sports. Does Nosferatu or whatever the monster in the movie's name, does he fuck the girl?
Yes.
No. No.
Metaphorically, kind of.
Metaphorically,
Yeah.
yes, but okay. Here's all that happened. Well, I can't tell you what happens. If you see the original movie, he does the same thing that he does in the original movie. And his name's
What
Count
kind
Orlok,
of
by the
freaky
way.
shit? I have to watch that.
It's kind of like a metaphor for sexual assault, sort of, kind of.
But she consents and lets it happen.
Yeah, but it's like a tragedy, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because he's a vampire and he does vampire things to her, right? Like, yeah, that's tragic.
My bad.
Anyway,
everybody
put
listening.
it this way,
We should have put a
Jackie.
trigger warning for sexual assault.
It's no Bella and Edward from Breaking Dawn. It's not that.
Boo. Okay.
It's not him grasping onto a wooden bed and breaking it because he's fucking having an orgasm inside a human being. It's not Breaking
Orlok
Dawn.
is much hotter.
Oh, bro, don't say that. That may be the ugliest creature I've seen in my life.
This is a football
Bill
podcast.
You live in.
Skarsgård, though.
Have you ever been to Baltimore, buddy? Big fan. Wow.
Actually, yeah, I have.
Shout out Baltimore. I lived in the DMV for 3 years. I liked Baltimore.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Not that has anything to do with me. I don't live there.
No, it does not. But shout out, I don't know if Corey, you're still listening, but shout out Corey. I know you're a Baltimore resident, miserable Cards fan. Great podcast, by the way. He also does pod. I enjoy listening to that as well. But all right, guys, take us out, Will.
This has been another miserable episode of the Redbird Redzone podcast. My name is Will. You can find me on Twitter at LevOnThatSwing.
My name is Jackie. You can find me on Twitter at JSanDiego. That is with 2 O's.
I guess I gotta do my part, huh? Yeah. You can. My name is Gule. You can find my @ right over there @ Zone of Gule on like every platform. So come say hi. I'm on Blue Sky now. Blue Sky's cool. I like it. It's neat.
This is my fifth time being a guest. Username HG_J Sanders. Most of y'all already know who I am, so always
if you
love
have
being on
any
here. It's fun.
and if you have any complaints about this episode, please email us at our show email, which is jonathan.gannon@azcardinals.com.
No, Bidwill deserves it. It's michaelbidwill@gmail.com. Go to that one instead. I feel like that's more deserving of your complaints.
No, you guys got it all wrong. You got to get rid of your owner. Well, literally, the Commanders got rid of their owner, and now they're good. Get rid of your owner.
Yeah, Michael Bidwill.
Get rid of the
Michael
Bidwells.
Bidwill.
Yeah, michael.bidwill@gmail.com. Give your complaints there.
It's okay.
And
He's
this
gonna
is-
do it. He's gonna add another casita to the end zone, and then it's all gonna be fine, guys. Don't worry.
Can we get him for racism, please, or something?
We
God
tried.
damn, bros.
We tried. Okay.
But
I'm
nobody
just
cares
putting
about
out
us.
false claims that he touched my penis.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Wow, you let
That
him
will-
touch your penis and not me? Wow, I'm hurt. Anyway, we are out.
Peace later. End stream.